It's your girl, Warrior Eagle. And I'm back home. Look who I got. This is Mia, everybody. My little teeny tiny, my little teeny tiny baby. Hey, Tamika, I did not know you was on I did not know you was on YouTube. She was getting a little fussy, so I was like, I guess that means she's sleepy. But she wasn't trying to go to sleep on the bed. She was trying to go to sleep on me. I guess I don't spoil her already. Wow. Wow. Well, good seeing you virtually. Good seeing you. So this is Mia. Look at all that hair. That's probably the cause of my heartburn. That was one of the main consistent pregnancy symptoms I had was heartburn nonstop. They had to put me on a prescription for that. No, she's still kind of awake. She's waking up. Well, no, she's going to sleep. She just open her eyes every so often. I just got off the phone not too long ago with her dad. Now the whole time I had him on speaker, no fussing. She was listening to him talk the whole time. But as soon as he gets off the phone, she want to fuss. I was like, that don't make no sense. How you a daddy's girl already? How you a daddy's girl already? But anyway, we are finally home from the hospital. It is interesting how this all came about. Now, I had announced that on Facebook and on YouTube that I was supposed to be induced tomorrow. Tomorrow was supposed to be the day that I would be induced. Yeah, it didn't quite happen that way. I had my normal OB appointment on Tuesday the 4th. Hey, Capricorn Queen. I had my appointment on Tuesday the 4th. I walked in just like usual and, went through and had my appointments or whatever. Now, previously, I think that was September 23rd, the doctor had diagnosed me with preeclampsia. And, they were talking, trying to decide, if they should let me, have my or carry me all the way through to her due date or if they were going to induce me. So, September 23rd, they decided that they were going to induce me. And October 12th was the date because it was actually supposed to be October 11th, but they didn't have any, excuse me, they didn't have any openings then for, to be induced. So they scheduled it for the 12th. October 4th came along the day after I go on maternity leave. And I walk into the doctor's office and go through the usual tests, ultrasound, all that. Come back. I mean, I'm waiting in the room and they're like, yeah, we're going to send you to the hospital to be monitored for 24 hours. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll go. So I go, walk into the hospital, labor and delivery unit. Walk in. I'm sitting at the register's desk. I register and they give me a parking pass. They put me in a room. Hey, Sandra Boo Bear. They put me in a room. I'm getting myself, changing into the gown, the hospital gown and everything. Next thing I know, the doctor comes in and says, "Yeah, we're admitting you and we're inducing you. We're inducing you." I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not what they told me when I walked in." I'm like, y'all told me that I was being monitored for 24 hours. They didn't say nothing about inducing me. Nope, that changed. They said they were inducing me that night. I was like, oh man. In fact, I actually started to cry. Those that know me know I ain't no crier like that, but I actually started to cry because I was like, oh my God, my parents. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. I was like, my parents are supposed to be here next week because they got their FMLA approved for next week. I was like, I can't be induced today. I was like, how are my parents gonna get here? So yeah, I started to cry because I was just like, this just throws everything off. But so I text my parents and let them know, hey, they decided to induce me tonight. I was like, oh geez. And so I told my parents. They was like, okay, we're on our way. I'll let you. I was like, well, if you are, please let me know, when you guys hit the road. They let me know when they hit the road or whatever. And they didn't induce me that Tuesday night. It wasn't until 1:50 a.m. Wednesday that they actually started hooking me up. No, actually, no, let me rewind. They did induce me that night. Uh oh yeah, I'm about to tell you. I'm working up to that, Sandra. I got you. Um so they actually did induce me that night, but it wasn't until 1:50 p.m. or excuse me, 1:50 a.m. on Thursday morning that the contractions started hitting me. They gave me the Pitocin that Tuesday, and the contractions didn't start hitting me until early Thursday morning. So I was in labor for 2 days. Tuesday through Thursday, and then the contractions uh really started hitting me. And I was like, oh my, that's a contraction. Because at first I was thinking, like, oh, this must be a Braxton. I was like, oh, this must be a Braxton Hicks. The nurse said, no, ma'am, that's a contraction. I was like, oh, that's what a contraction is. Caught me completely off guard. I can't tell y'all enough. That caught me off guard. So then the doctor comes in, and yeah, she is. And the doctor comes in, he's, talking about, different scenarios or whatever, and he was like, well, did you say you wanted epidural or whatever? I said, yep, give me the epidural. Because at first I was going to try it without it, but once I experienced what a contraction felt like, I was like, epidural me, please. Yep. So the anesthesiologist came in. Boom. He did it like with ease. Nothing. I didn't feel anything except for a little tiny poke that's supposed to make that area go numb while they're inserting the epidural. He was quick work. Like I said, I felt anything. Man, them contractions was hitting. But if I was kind of cruising because I didn't really feel anything. So then I was like, okay, I hit the button because I was like, dang, I'm starting to feel these contractions now. after a while, I was like, I'm starting to feel these contractions. So I was like, let me hit this button to give me an extra little dose, extra kick. And nothing was happening. Oh my God, yes, Capricorn Queen, that thing made me itch. I was like, oh my God, I think I need somebody to rub some hydrocortisone on my back. I actually had my husband rub hydrocortisone on my back, and he only rubbed it on one side. He didn't go to the other side or nothing like that. So one half of my side was cooling off, and the other half was itching like crazy. I thought it was the tape. Maybe it was the epidural, but oh my God. I thought I was gonna bleed from scratching so hard, and I couldn't really reach it because it was on my back. So um I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. I was like, okay, let me call the nurse because I'm hitting this button to get the extra dose and ain't nothing happening. These contractions are hitting me back to back. So then the nurse comes in. She said, "Oh, your your epidural came out." I was like, "Oh, that's why my back feels so wet." Oh my God! So y'all, they had to call the okay, Sandra, get your grub on. I don't know what you eating, but get your grub on for me. um. So anyway, the anesthesiologist came in and had to reinsert the epidural. When I tell you that was so painful, I cussed like a couple times because that I don't know what they were inserting in me, but this man, the second anesthesiologist, he hit nerves on the right side and the left side. I was like, oh my God. Almost told him to take it out, but I was like, nah, I need that. So anyway, uh yeah, I had to repent because I cussed. I let a couple of words loose. I did because that was painful. So then I finally, I got to, it's like after I dilated to 5, it just took off from there. Next thing I know, they're like, okay, ma'am, you're at 10. It's time to push. I was like, dang, that happened fast. Now I'm like, the labor part took 2 days, but the delivery part took about 15 minutes. Man, so next thing I know, I got my legs on the stirrup. My husband's on one side, the nurse is on the other side. My mom is standing there next to my husband, and they're like, push, and I'm pushing or whatever. And they had to use the vacuum to help pull Mia out because she was getting stuck, I think, behind the pelvic bone or something. So pulled her out, and at 5:48 p.m. on Thursday, October 26th, or 26th, October 6th, Mia came. And she had a nice set of lungs, but the funny part was she was looking around. She was looking at everybody. I was like, you just like your daddy. Just like your daddy. Got to see everything. Babies got their eyes closed. They're not paying attention. No, Mia was looking around. She wanted to see everybody around. You like you can't even really see. But anyway, so yeah, they ended up I was actually supposed to be released Monday. Um but um they had to keep me just because Mia ended up getting jaundice. And so they had to watch her levels. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was frustrated because I was looking forward to going home. Actually, I was supposed to go home on Sunday. I was actually looking forward to going home on Sunday because I don't like being in a hospital like that. Yes, Capricorn Queen, this is my first job, my first full term baby. Even though she's a preemie. Oh, she weighed 10 pounds, or excuse me, 10 pounds, 4 pounds, 10 ounces, and she's 17 and a quarter inch long. So she's a really tiny baby, really tiny. Hi, Anne Marie. Really tiny. And so she's like a baby doll. I kid you not. She's like a baby doll. And so, and she got them cheeks. Now the cheeks run on both sides of our family. So yeah, she got that honest. But yeah, 4 pounds, 10 ounces, 17 and a quarter inch long. I know it. She's already spoiled. um, I mean, as you can see, she ain't gonna lay down and go to sleep. She got to sleep on me. Um, but yeah, they ended up keeping her because of jaundice. And then they ended up keeping me because my blood pressure was still kind of high, even after having, had the baby. So they kept me 2 extra days, to Monday and two, or yeah, Monday and Tuesday, which I was not happy about. I was ready to go home, especially because when folks was telling me, "Oh yeah, we're gonna send you home," but then after they take her blood and everything, they're like, "Oh well, we decided that we're gonna keep her here because we want to watch her levels." I'm like, y'all can't be telling me that stuff. I be expecting y'all to keep your word. You tell me you sending me home. That means you need to send me home because I was tired of being in the hospital. So, and then she had to stay in the NICU until Sunday. And that was, ooh, that was hard for me to be away from her. Those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because Sunday, they actually brought her to my room, but it was so hard. I was the one that had separation anxiety, not her, me. So that was hard. I mean, I was going down there several times a day, to see her and everything, and it just, that messed with my mind, y'all. I was praying like crazy, like, oh Lord, I want my baby up here with me. And so finally that did happen on Sunday. I got my baby in my room, and ugh, now that was bliss. But I was just ready to go home. I was like, dang, I ain't been outside. And at the time it was 6 days. I was like, dang, I kind of miss being outside and getting the sun and fresh air and all that stuff. But you know, I know I had, this was for Mia mainly, but me also. So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna deal with this. Yesterday, they was like, yeah, her levels are not coming down, or she's right under the threshold uh for not needing a light box. And so I was faced with the difficult choice of either not doing the light box and her levels possibly rising, or doing the light box and getting rid of the jaundice, bringing the levels way down. And that was tough. I mean, because I was already stressed about being in the hospital. I was ready to go home. And also, I was already stressed. And then, I'm looking at my baby and she's got gauze taped to her little tiny hands and feet because they're drawing blood. So I know she's screaming because they can feel pain. And, so y'all, my mind was messed up a little bit, just a teeny bit. Maybe that was my postpartum or something. I don't know. All I know is that bothered me. So, um, they put her in the light box all day yesterday and all night last night. And that was so hard because I'm used to holding her after I feed her and rocking her to sleep and then just laying her in her, in her little plastic bassinet or whatever they call that thing. That's what I'm used to doing. I had to call the nurse because they would have to hook her back up to the light box and all that. And I was just like, Lord, please keep me because I'm going to lose my mind. I felt like I was going to lose it. Oh, my husband's home. Um, Anywho, so we finally got our discharge today. And we left the hospital at noon. So here we are. Here we are. And that's Mia. She finally went to sleep. but I'm gonna have to wake her up at about 8 o'clock because it's feeding time. Actually, I need to be pumping right now. uh, I need to be pumping right now because my milk did finally come in. So I need to, look, I'm trying to shrink my uterus. I'm trying to shrink my uterus. So, yeah. Uh, I need to get to work. Plus, my husband's coming in, and I can hear him all the way outside. He on the phone. So once he come in the door, y'all ain't gonna be able to hear me because he loud. I love him, but he loud. But that's his voice. His voice carries. So that's pretty much how that goes. But I'm gonna end the live here. But I am going to do a video later of Mia when she's a little more alert and awoke and all that kind of stuff. And have y'all look at her because she be making the funniest faces ever. So and she got both of us. She got both of us. She looks like her dad, but she's got my dimples and possibly my eyes. I don't know. She's got my hands and her daddy's feet. So somebody said, "Oh, y'all was fighting," because she looks equally like both of us. So, but I'm gonna jump off this live here. I'm gonna lay her down for a few, and like I said later, I'm going to do a video just of Mia and her little shenanigans. But I will holler at y'all later. This is Warrior Eagle saying peace and God bless.